Just 2 months on from launching their flagship Galaxy S24 series, Samsung is back with a couple of new Galaxy A smartphones, the Galaxy A55 and the Galaxy A35. Unlike the last generation Galaxy A54 and 34 though, this year's pair of Galaxy A smartphones are much more similar, with the only notable differences being in the cameras and under the hood. Here's everything you need to know about the new Galaxy A55 and the Galaxy A35. Take a quick look at the phones I have in both hands and you'll probably not be able to tell them apart. In fact, both have identical displays now, with the pair of them packing identical 6.6-inch Super AMOLED displays, pushing a Full HD resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of 1000 nits, along with a layer of Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus over it for scratch resistance. You'll also find glass backs on them, along with the new key island bump across the volume and power buttons. A slight difference here is that the Galaxy A55 gets a metal frame, while the Galaxy A35 makes do with a plastic one. Nevertheless, both phones will still come with an IP67 dust and water resistance rating. Under the hood though is where you'll find a pretty major difference. The Galaxy A55 features the new Exynos 1480 system on chip, Samsung's new mid-range chip that features an AMD RDNA 2-based GPU. That gets mated to 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. As for the Galaxy A35, it comes with the Exynos 1380 instead, the same chip found in last year's Galaxy A54 with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Both the Galaxy A55 and the Galaxy A35 will come with Android 14 out of the box, skinned with One UI 6.1 over it. Samsung is also guaranteeing a minimum of 4 major Android OS upgrades and 5 years of security support for the Galaxy A55 and Galaxy A35, which aren't bad at all for a couple of mid-range smartphones. In the camera department, meanwhile, the two new Galaxy A devices feature a triple rear camera setup with a primary 50-megapixel camera alongside a 5-megapixel macro sensor. However, the Galaxy A55 gets a higher resolution 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a 32-megapixel selfie shooter, while the Galaxy A35 gets an 8-megapixel ultra-wide and a 13-megapixel selfie camera instead. Other than that though, the differences pretty much end, with the Galaxy A55 and A35 featuring 5000 mAh batteries with support for 25-watt wired charging. No power adapter in the box though, as has been the case for a couple of years now. You'll also find stereo speakers, in-display fingerprint sensors, as well as Samsung Knox Vault, with the two being the first Galaxy A devices to include the hardware-based security system. As for its price, the Galaxy A55 with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage is priced at 1,999 ringgit, while the Galaxy A35 with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage is priced at 1,699. That's basically a 100 ringgit increase across the board compared to the previous Galaxy A54 and Galaxy A34. Both devices will be available from 22nd March onwards at all Samsung Malaysia experience stores, Samsung authorized retailers, and the Samsung Malaysia online store, as well as their official brand stores on Shopee and Lazada. So what do you guys think of the new Samsung Galaxy A devices? Is Samsung Knox Vault a feature you've always wanted to see on your mid-range devices? Which one of the two will you opt for in the end? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Raymond, signing out.